first item of business is our minutes from our last meeting that we attended, which, what month that was?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Is your microphone on?
I apologize.
Thank you, sir.
It is now. So the first item of business is the adoption of the minutes as presented by Alan. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented?
I see none.
And we need a motion as such, that they be approved.
I move that we approve the minutes from the May meeting.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
it. Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the minutes are approved as submitted. Okay, our cases tonight, I'll read the first case. Our first case is case number V9251. Chadwick and Brenda Powers have applied for a variance of Madison County Code of Ordinance, Appendix 1, Article 5.4. Structure shall be located 35 feet or more from any street right-of-way, which is 50 feet or greater in width, or 60 feet or more from the center line of the street right-of-way less than 50 feet in width. All accessory structures must be located 10 feet or more from any property line. The variance is requesting for property located at 1103 Ridgeview Road and further identified as Madison County Tax Map 32-38A. The applicant is requesting the setback be reduced from 35 feet to 20 feet in order to construct an accessory building, lean-to, and carport. So Powers, or someone representing the Powers?
No, it's just myself and my husband.
Okay, all right, so you're Brenda then?
I'm Brenda, yes.
Okay. Brenda, you just want to tell us a little bit more about it and what your hardship is, why the variance is needed?
We purchased the property the end of January, and we need to build a garage. My husband's an auto mechanic, and he has a couple of old vehicles that we need to store. Currently, we have everything that was in our garage at the old place in sea containers, parked on the property. He has plans to build a 37 by 60-foot garage on the property. We installed a fence when we moved in. You can see it's laid out on the plat there because we have 2 dogs, and I needed my fence for my dogs. The location that we want to put the garage, that seems to be the most feasible place on the lot because the septic, the drain field, and the well. If we went to the other side of the property, we'd be having to make a new entrance to get to the garage. This way it would be to the rear of the house. We would be able to use the entrance that we have now. So this seems to be the most feasible place. I believe, I can't recall, I don't know for sure, but I believe the building has to be 37 feet. So we would encroach on the setback. And there are plans later, once we get the garage built, we would like to make a lean-to on the side of it. So that would go into the setback line. We have an RV that we would like to protect from the weather. So that would go on the lean, under the lean-to if we were able to build it.
So the proposed building on the plat here will have a lean-to on it that's not drawn in here.
Correct. It's not drawn yet, no.
That would be included in the setback request.
Correct.
So actually, what you showing here with the building, you do meet the setback.
Maybe.
But the lean-to is
The
what would
lean-to.
be the problem.
Correct, yeah. I believe it's a couple inches over on the setback line. I can't recall what
And
the
it looks pretty
exact
close
measurements
here,
were.
so.
Yeah, it's very close.
Okay, any questions from Planning Commission, for BZA for the applicants? Yeah, it is. To the audience, any questions, comments regarding this case? Yes, sir.
I'm a neighbor to the property, and
Just tell us your name for the record, please.
Alvin Ash is my name, and I'm a neighbor there to the property. And I'd like to
She has a microphone.
We'll get it on the record here.
Okay, yes, sir.
My name's Al Esch. I'm a neighbor to the property on the other side of them, and I think that allowing this tonight for them would really help them out, and it would also make so that they would be able to put all their stuff into the building that they propose and get rid of the sea containers, and it'd be a lot neater and nicer. And so I'd just like to speak in favor of it.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from the audience before we come back to the BZA? Okay, back to the BZA. I will read a letter that was submitted. It says, I, Kenneth Dodson, and my wife Rhonda Dodson, live at 1123 Ridgeview Road, Brightwood. We have no objections to a variance on the property that belongs to Chad and Brenda Powers. Signed, Kenneth Dodson and Rhonda Dodson. Okay, any other questions, comments from BZA for the applicant?
So how big would the lean-to be? About 50,
roughly, when it's put an RV,
Yep.
roughly put an RV in.
You know, the
maybe
trailer,
15 feet or so? Is
I
that-
would say 20 feet roughly, you know. Because if you put it 6x6 by it or attach it in a way, it needs to be, the trailer is 12'10", I think it is, height of the trailer. How wide would be roughly, I want to say 15 foot, if I let the side out on there, so just parking it would probably be, the other one was 13 foot wide, you know, and the width from the building, so you'd probably look at 14 foot away from the building to decide to put the lean-to and the 6x6 up, or whatever pole they use to hold it up, you know.
But I mean, if you're gonna make it 20 feet wide, then your variance is gonna have to be 15 feet, not 20 feet.
Okay, well,
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah, the request is for 20 feet
Right,
rather
you're
than
requesting
35.
20 feet, so
That's
you
a
can't-
15-foot
It can't be
lean-to.
over 15 feet if we prove it like it is.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Didn't realize that the trailer is standard width of a trailer. I want to say it's 10 foot wide,
Probably,
roughly.
yeah,
Yeah,
no more
wider
than
the
10.
road, no wider than track trailer, you know.
But if you have slide outs, you know, you're gonna have, it's gonna be a pole
Right.
lean
You'd have
to,
to
so you can slide
take-
out past
get
that.
in there until you're looking a couple more feet wider than the trailer is,
Right, right.
you know, so
And that 20-foot should cover.
I hope so. That's what I was counting on.
Yeah, so, I mean, 'cause that's what you're asking for, 20
Yeah.
feet, so can't be over that.
I can talk loud enough without the speaker. Yeah.
Well, respectfully, sir, but say we record for minutes purposes, so if you'd use the
Oh,
microphone,
okay.
we'd appreciate it.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, that's,
Okay. Any other comments, questions from BZA? Hearing none, then we need a motion on this case.
I'll make a motion that we approve the variance as requested.
Okay, Rogers moved that the variance be approved as requested. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
And Ms. Long seconds that motion. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That's a little twist for you. Any opposed?
Unanimous, Mr. Chairman.
Sir?
Unanimous, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. It's a unanimous vote. All those in favor of it. So, you should see Mr. Nichols after tonight.
all I know is I want to take everything out of my container and put it in the garage where it belongs.
There you go.
Because I walked away from a 38 by 40, two of them. You know. I got stuff everywhere.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next case is case number V9252. Al Esch, on behalf of Thomas Fant, has applied for a variance of Madison County Code of Ordinances Appendix 2 subdivisions, Article 452, Madison County Code of Ordinances, Appendix 1, zoning, Article 4.3. Madison County Code of Ordinances, Appendix 2, subdivisions, Article 4.5.6. Madison County Code of Ordinances, Appendix 2, subdivision, Article 4.5.1. In order to create a non-conforming 1-acre lot by subdividing property as identified as 244 Crooked Run Lane and further identified as Madison County Tax Map 33-42G. Okay, someone representing the case, would that be you, Mr. Esch?
Chairman Lillard, I
Yes.
am recusing myself from hearing this case as I am adjoining property to this.
Okay, so if the record would show that Ms. Long is stepping down on this case due to conflict as an adjoining property owner. Okay, Mr. Esch, tell us what the hardship is. and the
So,
Conditions of this case.
sure, there we go. This case came in front of us because, Mr. Fant reached out to me, back at 244 there in the back of the property. There used to be an old home there that got in real bad shape, and his son Stevie and Cindy, his wife Cindy, which is here tonight, lived in that home, and they had to destroy it because of mold and some issues with that. So Mr. Fant wanted to give them a piece of land for Stevie and Cindy and their family to live in so they can build themselves a new home there. He wasn't aware that his property couldn't be subdivided for a family subdivision. And so he asked me if I would be willing to represent the case. What he would like to do is there you can see with the topography that there's like a holler that runs between 244 and Mr. Fant's house. We never surveyed it yet because we wanted to see if the BZA would be gracious in allowing them to have a non-conforming lot, I guess is how you would put it. Somewhere between an acre, acre and a half. There's already an existing well, and there is an existing septic there that could be tied into. Mr. Fant would just like to help out his kids. We know how expensive land is these days and how hard it is to get ahead, and he would like to do that for his kids and grandkids.
So what is the condition that does not allow the family division?
There's not enough acres in the main parcel. Is that correct, Alan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. State code on family division states that it is not to circumvent local zoning ordinances. In the agricultural zoning distance, the minimum area requirements is 3 acres for a lot and additionally 3 acres per use. So there are already a number of other uses on the property, which is one of the ordinances, but the primary concern is the minimum acreage requirement.
Well, I ask because it's over 6 acres. So what are the other uses then?
The other uses, there's a business here. You see the other addresses. There is a business located at 164. That's one use. Another residence there, which is the second use. So we've exhausted our 3 acres per use.
Right.
And there was a third residence here, which made the property non-conforming. Or I'm sorry, a second residence, but a third use, which made the property non-conforming as it was. Should the applicant have applied to simply replace the home that was here, that would have been permitted. We could have continued the non-conforming use as it had not been abandoned. However, with the request to subdivide, that is something that would require the variances that are stated in the application.
So when was the house has been removed?
The house has recently been removed.
And part of the, if I may,
Sure.
part of the issue that happens is Stevie and Cindy would not be able to get a loan for a new home on someone else's property. They have to have their own tax map number in order to get a loan to build a new home.
Right. Okay, but so the house was removed within the last 6 months, year?
It's been within the last 2 years, I'm certain.
Yeah,
And
maybe Cindy could.
In May of 25?
Yeah, he had his machine and it was full of black mold.
Right, right.
Yeah, he came down because we were gonna try to fix it and he was like, you need to get out immediately. So he tore it down.
Right,
It was it's been bad for a while.
right.
So, yeah, he took it down. I have pictures.
So the house was was on the property on the 6 acres, not subdivided from the remainder of the property. And he destroyed the house for those reasons, right?
Yeah,
And so now you're trying to get a loan to build a new house for yourself in place of what the house was torn down.
Correct.
And you say it was done in May of 25?
yeah.
Anyone have questions on the BZA?
That plat is different than our plat here, right?
Yes.
Because I can't figure out from this plat what's going on.
if I may, Mr. Clatterbuck, what we have up here is the GIS. The plat that you're looking at, I'm happy to go ahead and take a peek at that. Should be what's on the screen now. And so the area in
Well,
question.
that's one of them. We have two plats.
Yes, it's just oriented differently. These are plats from different dates. They came out a little different, but essentially, in this particular plat, the house that was demolished was about where the cursor is, up here in the right corner. It could be illustrated on this one as well,
Oh, okay.
over here.
Okay. So
Yep.
it's all the way up on this corner then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
It was easier for me to, easier for me to illustrate for you with the GIS there,
Okay.
because you can see where the
Yeah,
house used to
okay.
be.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
And to give you an idea of what scale looks like, I mean, on this lot, about an acre puts you somewhere, somewhere
Right,
over
okay.
here.
I got you.
That's 0.9, so a
And
little
they,
more than that.
they would be willing, I spoke with Mr. Fant, he would be willing to, go to an acre and a half or an acre and 3/4 to go down. There's a kind of a holler that runs down through there. And he'd be willing to go like down in the center of the holler to make so that, it would be a bit of a bigger piece for him.
So where would they access, how would they access this property?
This property is accessed right here off of Leon Road. Let me get it so I can scroll here. Off of Leon Road, and then it turns onto Crooked
But I
Run
mean,
Road.
he's gonna come in through the rest of the property. Is that-
Correct. It would be by, they'd have to establish a right-of-way there, and it would be 2 parcels being serviced on that private road, which is well within the county criteria.
Except there's a business there, right?
There is a home business there, yes,
So it's 3 things.
but only 2 parcels. The ordinance limits the number of parcels on a private road, not the number of uses.
Well, Alan, what is, or Mr. Nichols, what is I've been told different things over the years as far as what is the length of time to be grandfathered with the property that is,
Grandfathering would apply to a non-conforming use. So if, and this is a good case study for that, because the dwelling in question was destroyed. By our ordinance, the applicant has 2 years to restore that use to continue the non-conforming use of the property. So that's the extent of your grandfathering. However, they're not seeking to simply rebuild in that spot. They're seeking to perform a subdivision, which is something new. They want to create a new lot that does not exist now and did not exist previously.
So that's the sticking point. They're not just grandfathered in because they want to subdivide.
Correct.
So they could technically build back a
They,
house
they could build back a house on the
and not
site
create a lot.
and not create a lot. That is correct. I think the crux of the applicant's argument is financing.
Yeah, and the other thing is then it would be Mr. Fance and not, his son and daughter-in-laws. He wants to give that to them.
Well, he could still give it to them and will.
Sure, but it would be part of the compound, if you will.
Well, the issue is just less than 3 acres.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I am not familiar with any case like this where less than 3 acres has been granted unless it's a, grandfathered case prior to zoning. And,
Plus, this is not gonna be close. This is 1 acre versus 3 acres.
yes, yes.
I mean, if it was close, that would be a different story.
Well, one of the things that for me personally that I looked at was would be I guess he could maybe rezone the property. So we do allow 1.5 acres in R1.
Is any other residential zone property near this?
I don't know that.
Let's find out.
Most of those are all non-conforming lots all the way around there. And so, yeah, I don't know what the zoning is out there.
Probably some of both.
So yeah.
So to the board, where the cursor's moving here, Betsy, is the subject property over on the east side there. The yellow zoned areas are R1. The red is B1. The gray there is industrial. So this is, as far as similar lot sizes nearby, you have a number of other smaller lots. These are 3 acres, 3 acres. I was trying to find another small one
I
nearby.
think there's one right there in that cluster, Mr. Nichols. Right there, 32, or 3342C.
I'm looking up, down, left, right.
I guess to your right or up a
Oh,
little, right there, yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's see, what do we got here? This is oh my gosh, I can't read it now.
Yeah,
It's
on
not
there.
on there, it's some
Try
kind
that
of, it's
next
some
one,
kind of a
yeah.
remnant. There we are, so let's say this one shows 1/10 of an acre. This one shows what, 0.83, something like that. So
Well-
there's a little bit of weirdness over there in the way
They're
they're
all,
recorded.
they're obviously all grandfather lots prior to
Yes, sir.
zoning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so,
Yes, sir.
they're kind of, that's when people get a non-conforming lot.
Yes, sir.
And, it's against our ordinance, create a non-conforming lot.
Correct.
Have you looked into the options of 99-year leases and things like that?
I have not. Mr. Fant asked me to do this, and this is what I've attempted to do.
Well, I have simply for the situation, me personally, I'm talking for me personally,
Sure.
not the whole board. But that is quite an exception to go to a 3 acres, less than 3 acres in an ag zone. Like I say, I'm not familiar with anybody, that being done for anybody in any situation unless it's a grandfathered case. And we have had situations, I can remember one that was particular, was a church where they wanted to do something similar. And, when they were presented with options of easements and things like that, rather than a non-conforming lot, they withdrew and looked at easements and different things. So I think if you research it further, you can probably find some options. I don't know the lenders.
Sure.
You know how lenders are, it all
Yeah.
depends on who you're borrowing from.
Yeah.
And your individual title and all that kind of stuff, so, but me personally, you're asking for a lot.
Yeah. And I
Significant
understand.
amount.
Yeah, and I understand that. And I guess for me personally, and I genuinely understand the concerns, is if it wasn't for family, that would make a huge difference for me.
Right.
If Mr. Fant was just wanting to cut off a piece because he needed some money, I would feel very differently about it. But we live in a time when land is expensive, and we try to help our kids and,
Oh, sure,
and try to do
sure.
those things. And so that would be the position for the difference for me.
Sure. No, I understand that position, but you know, in our position, I think we need to be as consistent and fair
Sure.
as possible.
Sure.
You know, we don't want to be arbitrary and capricious no matter what decisions we make.
Yes, sir.
And, I think everybody would have sympathy on your situation. But, you know, I don't know if doing what you're asking for would be the best way for us to handle it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I know of a situation where they did a 99-year lease and built a house and did a lot, but it wasn't because of lot size.
Gotcha.
It was other issues involved, and it also involved an attorney that owned the property, so, you know,
Sure.
maybe he knew the ins and outs better than the county, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know it has happened,
Yeah.
you know, so, just to throw that out there as an idea.
Sure.
All right, I don't mean to be hogging the time, any other BZA
I agree
members?
with you. I think it's quite a stretch to, but, and we do commend him for wanting to help his kids, of course. But it's,
Well, sometimes it gets down to the point, it is what it is, you know, and you have to make some changes and do something differently to make it work. You know, with the uses on there, like Mr. Nichols described, that does change the nature of if it wasn't for that business use, you could do a family division. Questions, comments from the other members? No other comments, then we need a motion on this case, and the chair cannot make a motion or second.
I make a motion that the request be denied.
All right, Mr. Clatterbuck's made the motion that the request be denied. Is there a second to his motion? Is there a second to the motion? If there's no second, it dies for lack of a second.
Mr. Chairman, and this might be out of order, but are we able, like, I have a question per se. Can we go back and ask that question, or is that time now closed?
We either need to have a second or it needs to
Okay.
die for lack of a second. You can, if you want to second it, then we can have discussion. But you need to second the motion if you so would like to, or it dies for lack of a second. So would you like to second it or not? Or you go?
I don't think I can second.
Okay, so the motion dies for lack of a second. So we're back to where we were. So the floor is still open for discussion at the BZA level. Further discussion?
Just for clarification purposes, the reason it can't be the 3 acre is because of that business on the property, correct? Because there's already an
There's-
additional use?
It's use.
That's right. We can bring the ordinance up really quick. In fact, it's in your packet. The relevant ordinances are there. For the number of acres per use.
Here it is.
And if it's not, I can find it quicker just by pulling up the ordinance. Give me just a moment here.
No, I found the relevant ordinances.
All right, so here we go. Area requirements, here we go. I'm just keeping myself in the wrong spot. Okay, area requirements. The minimum lot area for permitted uses shall be 3 acres. All dwellings located on a single parcel shall require a minimum of 3 acres per dwelling. So for each use on the property, you need to have at least 3 acres for that use.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? The floor is still open for a motion. Or any other questions, comments?
The back lot, I guess on the back side of where they're trying to put this house? Is there any like conflicting issues with those neighbors or anything? Does anybody have an issue with this?
I don't have any
So
letters here.
we sent letters as required by the Code of Virginia to all of the adjacent adjoining property owners. In fact, we did it twice. And we have not heard any commentary from any of the neighbors, other than your fellow board member who has abstained. And she gave no opinion one way or the other than that she would abstain. But nobody has given us a hard no on it. You know, it is up for you to decide in accordance with the state code how you want to act on this matter. But are you, I don't know if you're leading somewhere, like they could pick up ground from somebody if they had asked to do a boundary adjustment and get some acreage. I do not know if that's been pursued.
Floor is still open for a motion. Roger, you can make another motion if you want to.
Mine already got shot in.
Well, if it's a 2-2 vote, it's going by. You can't go forward without a majority vote,
Majority of the body, yes.
yes. And we have a quorum, correct, Mr. Nichols?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum. But even in the event that you had 3, you would need all 3 to vote in favor, but yes.
Yes, correct. I mean, it doesn't go forward if it's a 4-4 vote. That's essentially a no vote.
Correct.
And I'll reemphasize, I mean, it's regardless of the family situation here. I am not familiar with anything that's ever been approved smaller than a 3-acre lot. It's a zoning ordinance, an ag zone. I could be wrong, but I'm not aware of anything that was done that wasn't grandfathered prior to zoning, as far as lot size smaller than 3 acres in an ag zone. And I think that has been the standard that has always been applied to literally thousands of people, and I can't bring myself to say yes to making that kind of change. So the floor is still open for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we deny the variance as requested.
Okay, Jessica has made a motion that the variance be denied as presented. Is there a second to Jessica's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and properly seconded that the case be denied as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion that it be denied, raise your right hand. Any opposed to the motion, raise your right hand. One opposed, so 3 support the motion for being denied and 1 opposed to the motion. And, sorry it didn't work out, but I think you have some, I would hope you have some options there.
Thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
sure thing. Okay, Mr. Nichols, is there anything to present for us tonight before we adjourn?
No, Mr. Chairman, other than I look forward to seeing you all for next month's BZA. We have advertised 3 new cases to be heard.
Okay, so we just need a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
A second?
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.